Welcome to the School of Occupational Therapy Class of 2021 graduation celebration. My name is Dr. Kate DeClain-Huber, and I am Chair of the School of Occupational Therapy and Associate Dean for the College of Health Sciences here at University of Indianapolis. We are glad you are able to spend time virtually recognizing our graduates and award winners. We do not want to miss the current opportunity of recognizing the hard work and accomplishments of all of our graduates. The students here have spent several years studying to become occupational therapists, several years of late nights, research and scholarship projects, competencies, and splinting. We welcome all of them to a profession that is both rewarding and honorable. I am thrilled to not only have them as alumni to our program, but as colleagues in our profession. I would like to start by introducing Haley Fairfax, who will lead us in an opening prayer and will be followed by an opening statement by the University of Indianapolis President, Dr. Robert Manuel.
Good afternoon. If you would, bow your heads with me and pray. Today is a day of gratitude and reflection. Thank you for this journey we were able to experience together. Thank you for the end of this season and for another one soon beginning. I pray we accept the gifts we have been entrusted with and use them gracefully and purposefully. I pray as we embark on this new chapter in life, we remember the friendships and faculty that got us there. As we celebrate this weekend, our accomplishments and achievements, help us humbly remember our beginning. Help us recall why this path was one we fell in love with. Help us remember the mountains we had to climb to get to this point. And help us remember the grace and understanding that was bestowed upon us through it all. Thank you for the faculty that have poured numerous hours into our cohort to ensure we are well prepared for our next steps. Thank you for their kindness, guidance, and patience these past 3 years. May our class never take for granted the gifts bestowed upon us. May we live them out wholeheartedly and boldly. Let us continue to live our lives in fulfillment of our purpose, loving and serving all who crossed our path. Lastly, thank you for this opportunity to celebrate these achievements, and may this weekend continue to be a celebration of love and accomplishment. Amen.
Well, I think I'm coming through now. I just want to say I'm Rob Manuel, the president of the University of Indianapolis, and I want to congratulate all of you on getting to this moment in time. The last year and a half certainly has been challenging for us all, and for us to be sitting here is truly inspiring to me, and I hope it's inspiring to you as well. I want to congratulate your faculty, your families, your support systems, and you, students, for getting to this point. Just a year and a half ago, to be honest, I wasn't sure we were going to be able to be here. And now as the vaccines come out, as spring is coming around and graduation's happening, we're beginning to reflect on the important lessons of the moment of the last year. And what I wanted to talk to you about today were just a couple of the positive lessons I learned over the last year. And I hope that you'll take these with you as you move out into your careers and engage your professions. Because in addition to all of the negative things and the stressful things that were there were many positive aspects to what has happened to us in the last year. Here are a few. One, I think we refocused from a selfish culture to one that really, truly cares for others. I've seen that in your actions. I've seen it in people's being brave enough to continue their practices amidst all of the issues that we have seen coming. I've seen it in our people, our students and our faculty and our staff protecting each other through this time. And I've seen it in how we have all engaged the challenges that we've had. And I hope that as we go forward, we remember the value in serving others and not just ourselves. I also saw an incredible amount of creativity in the design thinking of how we structured our lives. Course redesigns for sure, but really recreating our life structures so that we could stay in touch with each other and continue to connect as humans. And I hope that that notion that you are creative people will go with you as you move out into the field. And a corollary to that is adaptability. For sure, everything has changed. and you have changed as a result. The major forces in our world have created an ability for us to adapt. And while it oftentimes is difficult to manage, we have done so with great aplomb in the last year. The fourth is a real doubling down I've seen on the importance and the value of community, of being together with each other during times of stress. I've learned that personally, being able to spend time with my family in ways I wasn't able to before, and I've learned it in the absence of being able to be with you. And I know that we all hope coming together is a part of our future, and I hope that we don't forget the value of community as we move forward. The other thing that I think it lends to us all is a greater sense of empathy. I was told early on that I didn't need to worry about this because we were all in the same storm, that everybody was having the same experience. And I realized that while we were all getting rained on, we were all in very different boats navigating this past year and a half. I'm proud of you for being able to move through those waters that you uniquely saw. And I'm also proud of you for caring about others and trying to help them find their paths as well. I want you to go out into the world and balance your passion and your content and understand the impact you're having on others' lives. Help the world know how critical your profession is to the well-being and the life chances of people that live in our community together. Be of service to others, be of service to the moment, but always look to the future for your work and for your opportunity. And remember that we are here, your faculty, your staff, and I am here should you ever need to recharge your batteries and understand the importance of the stuff you learned at the university as it impacts your work going forward. You are prepared, you are ready, and Lord knows we need you more than ever. I can't wait to see what you become. I'm so proud of your accomplishments, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in your professions. Thank you for having me today, and congratulations.
Thank you, President Manuel. My name is Emma Baldwin, and I have the honor and privilege of introducing Dr. Irame Anverizade for you all today. I have met Dr. Anverizade through the Coalition of Occupational Therapy Advocates for Diversity, also known as COTAD. She is the co-founder of this national nonprofit grassroots organization that strives to empower occupational therapy leaders to engage in practices that increase diversity, equity, inclusion, justice, and anti-oppression for a more transformative occupational therapy profession. In addition to being my doctoral capstone experience mentor through COTAD, Dr. Anverizade holds multiple leadership roles within COTAD, and she is the vice chair of the organization and the chairs of both the Toolkit Committee and the COTAD Chapters program. Dr. Anverizade works at the University of Southern California, USC, as the Director of Admissions and an Associate Professor of Clinical Occupational Therapy, leading the development of holistic admissions processes at USC and overseeing their academic programs. Having held multiple roles within state and national OT leadership, Dr. Anverizade just got elected to be the Vice President of the American Occupational Therapy Association, also known as AOTA, and she's the youngest and first African-American Iranian woman to do so. She has received the Janice Matsutsuyu Outstanding Service Award and Vision Award from the Occupational Therapy Association of California, and this year she was rightly honored as the youngest woman of color to be inducted into the prestigious AOTA roster of fellows. An accomplished speaker nationally and internationally, and a practicing occupational therapist, you can imagine she has plenty of commitments, and yet here she is to celebrate and speak to us today. Her passions for building healthy, diverse communities through inclusion, equity, empowerment, and advocacy are evident in her outstanding work and leadership, and she paves the way for many to follow. It is my incredible honor to present to you my friend, colleague, mentor, idol, and inspiration, Dr. Anverizade. Dr. Anverizade,
Wow. Thank you so much. Can you all hear me okay? Thank you, Emma. That was such a beautiful introduction. And Idol, oh my goodness, I admire you and I'm grateful for your leadership. So thank you so much for taking the time to introduce me. I am so excited to be here. Good morning. Well, it's morning time over here because I'm in California, but good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak at the one and only University of Indianapolis pinning ceremony. It is truly an honor as I love the UIndy family, the faculty, the students, the program's mission, especially your motto, education for service. I also love how UIndy students are mobilizing and organizing through service, which is encouraging to see since you will be our future OT leaders. And one way you have done this is through establishing a COTAD chapter. So shout out to Emma Baldwin for getting it established, and Jasmine Everfield and Kylie Vaughn for maintaining its success. This is important student-led work centered around diversity, equity, inclusion, justice, anti-racism, and anti-oppression initiatives. You have conquered so much. Let's first start off with those sleepless nights studying for an exam or finishing up an assignment. You successfully knocked out fieldwork because, as we all know, fieldwork is a task. You are now embarking on your newest journey, which is conquering the NBCOT. So let's just take a moment today in the present to celebrate this huge accomplishment. Graduation, pinning ceremony, a symbol of your success. You should be so proud of yourselves. Let's give a round of applause to your hard work, your dedication, and your perseverance, especially during these uneasy times as we manage not one, but two pandemics, COVID-19 and systemic racial injustice. More importantly, I want to recognize your resiliency as so many things shifted, and your flexibility, your professionalism, and true OT essence was put to the test. You all passed. Congratulations. Also, a round of applause to your support system who had your back the entire time you went through this program. I call this your village. Today, we will focus on intention, impact, and legacy. As you go into practice, I want you to think about your intentions in serving your community as a healthcare provider, the impact you will have on these communities, and the legacy you intend to leave. I want you to consider your leadership in this profession. Are you an authentic leader, action-oriented, driven by your core values? Let's use these thought questions as a framework for today. Now, we know by the recent AOTA Workforce and Salary Survey that our diversity, equity, and inclusion numbers have not increased. African Americans and Indigenous OT groups have actually decreased in the last 5 years, and Latinx and multi-ethnic practitioners have slightly increased. So clearly we have a problem. And if there continues to be a lack of representation, our underrepresented communities will continue to be impacted and gaps to health disparities will increase. However, this is where all of you come in, because I am encouraged and I am hopeful that these numbers, will change. Intention, impact, legacy. Do you see yourself being the change you want to see? AOTA's Vision 2025 also has a pillar that focuses on equity, inclusion, and diversity, which was intentionally developed to embrace diversity in all of its forms. In our climate today, it feels that we are coming to a pivotal point in the arc of justice. I think this holds even more true when looking at the core values we hold as occupational therapists. To make sure that all individuals, populations, communities are engaged in meaningful occupations that promote a healthy lifestyle. And why I feel that we are the best profession ever is that we look at the person as a whole. We believe that every individual has the right to be able to meet basic needs and to have equal opportunities and life chances to reach towards his or her potential, but specific to the individual's engagement in diverse and meaningful occupation. And as you are exiting the classroom and entering the workforce, you must embrace your power, your lived experience, your voice, and commit to holistic practice. And this is a phrase I created which emphasizes the idea that occupations promote health and justice. I believe if you commit to these areas, you will be getting into nothing but good trouble for our profession. So what is your role in making this happen? Here are a few tips, which I call golden nuggets. Now, I believe one aspect that separates a good OT from a great OT is understanding of psychosocial and cultural implications and how occupational justice plays a role in a client's health and well-being. It 100% matters and we should be aware of these factors as we develop interventions. Here's an example: food, mealtime, meal prep as an occupation. When you consider the cultural implication, this occupation may resonate differently across cultures. This is why you must incorporate the cultural context in all evaluations, assessments, and occupational profiles. Being aware of this and asking these important questions during evaluations and throughout sessions shows commitment to being a more culturally responsive practitioner. Your tip: implement it. Now let's talk diversity, equity, inclusion language, such as terms like culturally responsive. Use of language is so important for practitioners to understand. However, we must move beyond using terms and actions of being culturally competent and move towards terms and actions of cultural humility and responsiveness. Competency is a checklist, a one-time training, but moving past this to humility is a lifelong commitment and reflective journey to self-evaluation and critique to readdressing power imbalances. Ask yourself, can you truly be competent in another's culture? It's problematic because it implies a top-down approach. Your tip: this is an action for all of us to be more culturally humble and less focused on cultural competency so that we can have a better understanding of clients' needs. Moreover, looking through a macro lens, as soon-to-be practitioners, we have a responsibility to understand how injustices and racism impacts occupations and the daily lives of the individuals we serve. We have to reflect on the systemic barriers marginalized people in our country face and the relationship between occupational justice and injustice. LaValle and Johnson recently published a phenomenal article about occupation, injustice, and anti-Black racism in the United States. They specifically analyzed the history of racism in this country and how it impacts occupations. And by understanding this history, we can become more aware of the implicit and unconscious biases that we have. So this brings me to our next concept: implicit and unconscious bias. Now, unconscious bias refers to a bias that we are unaware of and which happens outside of our control. Implicit bias refers to the same area, but questions the level to which these biases are unconscious, especially as we are being made increasingly aware of them. The goal is to minimize both biases as much as we can. Unconscious bias can be a huge setback in creating a truly diverse and inclusive workplace, which can manifest in the way we practice. Ways to reduce unconscious bias at work. The first step in unconscious bias reduction is being aware of what it is and how it can affect others. Question biases in yourself and raise awareness in others. Create inclusive meeting practices. Create a supportive dialogue. And of course, your tip, take action. The onus is on us to understand how we can best serve our communities at large and improve client satisfaction and overall health outcomes. This is one way to show leadership in the changing healthcare landscape. And at the end of the day, we must ask ourselves, are we creating a culture that fosters DEI with our clients and workspaces? So how does your commitment to being a leader in holistic practice impact our communities? They're all connected. Population health and the racial injustices that have impacted our communities through policies, practices, and procedures in housing, healthcare, racial wealth gaps, policing, criminal conviction, war on drugs, and education are all intimately connected. Our role as occupational therapists is to also distinguish the occupational barriers and injustices and be advocates for all people to have access to a healthy community. And besides being an advocate, this is even more so why it is important to have diverse representation at the table to champion against policies and laws that may have been created to reinforce these barriers. Having representation in governance, in healthcare policymaking, in sharing lived experiences and narratives is significant in including diverse voices in these conversations and during the decision-making processes. And as practitioners, by understanding the relationship between systemic barriers and occupational justice, we can better see the connection between unhealthy communities and health disparities. We can be better equipped in how to work with communities who have been impacted in this way. Now back to our framework. What commitment are you planning to make with your intention, your impact, and your legacy? Holding our profession accountable for developing standards and initiatives that focus on diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice is key. We have to make sure that we keep that same energy in the workplace. Treat your clients and work teams with respect and advocate when you see occupational justices or injustices happening. Your goal is to not only speak up, but to also take action. Be encouraged. Use your voice and say yes. Say yes to opportunity. And this is how you will grow as an OT ambassador, as a leader, and as a practitioner. So I leave you with this quote. For me, becoming isn't about arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim. I see it instead as forward motion, a means of evolving, a way to reach continuously toward a better self. The journey doesn't end. By Michelle Obama. Thank you for all of your energy and for your time. Thank you again, UIndy, specifically Dr. Brenda Howard for inviting me. I look forward to working with you as colleagues in the future. And be mindful, y'all, be mindful. Intention does not equal impact. Make a difference and create a legacy. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you for those inspirational words to everyone in our profession and our newest graduates. It is with great pleasure that I introduce the faculty and staff within the School of Occupational Therapy and the College of Health Sciences that guided these students, soon to be graduates, through their programs. Dr. Rebecca Barton, Dr. Lori Breeden, Dr. Lucinda Dale, Dr. Jennifer Fogo, Dr. Brenda Howard, Dr. Christine Kroll, Ms. Courtney Maddox, Dr. Taylor McGann, Dr. Penny Moyers Cleveland, Dr. Allison Nichols, Dr. Aaron Peterson, Dr. Katie Polo, Dr. Beth Ann Walker, and Dr. Christine Watkins. In addition, I would like to thank our incredible administrative assistant, Kristen Arns. Without her, our department would not function. Often, schools and professions have a distinctive pin with its own meaning that is presented to graduates as they enter a profession. This is true of the University of Indianapolis School of Occupational Therapy. The School of Occupational Therapy pin is oval with two hands reaching up towards a heart. In the center of the heart is a red stone representing the University of Indianapolis. The hands represent the numerous lives our students, now colleagues, have and will touch. May this pin remind you always of your quest to help others live life to the fullest. Although we cannot physically present this pin to you today, it was placed in the mail this morning and you should receive it in the coming days. It is with great honor that I introduce the College of Health Sciences Dean, Dr. Stephanie Kelly, who will read the names of the School of Occupational Therapy Doctor and Master of Occupational Therapy classes of 2021.
Before I read the names, I first want to thank Dr. SOT for her meaningful words. And I want to recognize you and your perseverance to earn this degree through this difficult time. By far, it's been the most difficult I've encountered in my higher education years. The challenges you faced weren't just limited to COVID and the impact of COVID on your education, but furthered by political divisiveness, mass shootings, and almost daily social injustices. You kept moving forward through this, maybe sometimes with just baby steps, maybe sometimes while screaming or expressing frustration. We all have those days, but you made it. I believe that these challenges can only make you stronger as an OT, as you will be able to be a bit more caring, more compassionate, and more patient with those clients whose worlds have been turned upside down like yours was through COVID. I am proud to read your names, to recognize your perseverance, and to start you on your journey as an occupational therapist. I will now begin reading the names. Michaela Nicole Adams. Claire Allen, also earning a certificate in gerontology. Jennifer Leanne Ashton. Emma Baldwin. Hannah M. Batchelor, also earning a Master of Science in gerontology. Kristen Michelle Bickle. Alyssa Marie Blair. Shannon Nicole Bouchard, also earning a certificate in gerontology. Jessica M. Britt. Elizabeth Ann Brock. Angela Chen. Morgan Haley Cole. Grayson Laura Connor, also earning a Master of Science in Gerontology. Courtney Lee Cooley, also earning a certificate in gerontology. Delilah A. Crumpton. Shelby Lane Dandy. Allison Marie Delks. Vesnik Donnie. Kristen Michelle Dyson. Jasmine Rasan Everfield. Haley Ann Fairfax. Ariel Gallagher. Hannah Lee Hackman, also earning a certificate in gerontology. Catherine Marie Haskell. Celia Marie Heckert. Emily M. Hess, also earning a Master of Science in Gerontology. Madeline Elaine Hunter. Ashley Marie Hudson. Thomas David Jaycox, also earning a Master of Science in Gerontology. Molly Taylor Johnson. Emily Ann Jones. Kirby K. Jones. Isis Patricia Martinez. Isabel Mazanowski, Master of Science in Gerontology. Caitlin Elizabeth McDonald. Paige Elizabeth McIntyre. Laura Ellen McKay. Kayla Mitchell. Jeffrey Thomas Moore. Tara Megan Nastoff. Moriam Blessing Olaranohe. Kelly Elizabeth Randall. Sarah Remesnik. Hannah Elizabeth Rose. Catherine Andre Salo, also completing a Master of Science in Gerontology. Rachel Wood Salyers, also completing a Master of Science in Gerontology. Wasim Shahid. Corinne Nicole Sisson. Cassidy Leanne Stinson. Monica Bree Stockton. Rachel Elizabeth Struing. Allison Suzanne Trimpey, also earning a Master of Science in Gerontology. Kendra Rose Voth. Alexandria Nicole Watkins. Melody Lynn White. Erica Elaine Wilson. Colleen Elizabeth Yeldell. Kelsey Jean Yeram, who is also earning a certificate in gerontology. Congratulations to all of the graduates. It is now my pleasure to turn the ceremony over to Allison Nichols, who is the director of the OTD program.
Good afternoon, everyone. Congratulations again. It's my honor to get to present the first of our awards. So each year, the School of Occupational Therapy presents 4 awards to recognize students for their outstanding performance during their time in our program. The first of these is the Leadership Award. The School of OT Leadership Award is awarded to the student who has been voted by their peers as the person who has demonstrated the strongest leadership skills within their graduating class. TheraCare has sponsored the Leadership Award this year. Occupational therapists who work for TheraCare have consistently taken fieldwork students from both our MOT and OTD programs. They have provided exceptional services to Indiana for over 20 years and understand the value of leadership. This year, we have 2 recipients of the Leadership Award. First up is our award winner from the MOT program. This student consistently demonstrated leadership within her cohort. Her classmates describe her as someone you can easily turn to, who speaks up consistently, takes initiative, and leads in a group. She spent time working with Champ Camp and volunteering with her church. It is with great honor that I, along with the class of 2021 and the SOT faculty, present Caitlin McDonald with this award. Congratulations, Caitlin. Well deserved. Our next award winner is from the OTD program. This student served as one of the leaders of the UIndy Coalition of Occupational Therapy Advocates for Diversity chapter. This chapter worked to create opportunities and resources to foster open conversation and increase awareness of different lived experiences to increase cultural humility under her leadership. She recently presented some of this work in collaboration with faculty and other students at the Indiana University School of Medicine LGBTQ Healthcare Conference, and she co-authored an article titled Acting in 2021 for Occupational Justice, Acknowledging Roles, Creating Conversations, and Taking Action. Our OTD Leadership Award recipient is Emma Baldwin. Congratulations, Emma. Next, we have Dr. Lucinda Dale to present the Research Award.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my distinct honor to be able to present the award for research to a group of students in the OTD program. I had the privilege of advising students in a research study entitled Experiences of Older Adults Who Age in Place, and would like to describe our study briefly. The older adult population in the U.S. is expected to increase to 78 million by 2035. Many adults are choosing to age in place, defined as living at home in the community with some level of independence, rather than relocate to facilities that provide assistance. No single factor has been found to predict older adults' decisions to age in place. The purpose of the study was to understand the experiences of older adults aging in place. We used a qualitative design and gathered data from 3 participants, 65 years or older, through semi-structured photo-elicited interviews. Participants described home as warm and comforting, a feeling, not just a physical space. Aging in place preserves self-identity because participants could maintain roles and valued routines that included participating in leisure and social activities, working part-time, sustaining connections to family and friends, contributing to the community, maintaining personalized space, and personalizing the home environment. Living at home enabled freedom to make daily choices about how to spend time and participate in mentally stimulating activities. In order to live at home, participants stayed physically active and adapted to physical declines. Some developed financial plans to eliminate the burden of decision-making for family members. Importance of aging in place was in stark contrast to living in a facility, described as losing track of who you are and things you care about. At home, everything means something. One participant emphatically stated, "I think I could plan to disappear in 2 weeks if I had to leave home." In contrast to the literature, adults in our study chose larger homes, or they modified their homes to provide extra space for extended family visits and play areas for children and grandchildren, likewise supporting their roles as parents and grandparents. Consistent and frequent interaction with family and friends prevented isolation and enhanced life satisfaction. On a personal note, this study was one of the most rewarding I've had the privilege to complete with students. Our participant stories were rich, deeply personal, and heartfelt, and my students spent countless hours reading, rereading, and interpreting the data to do justice to the stories and time our participants gave us. Thank you to Hendricks Regional Health for sponsoring this award, and my congratulations to the students I had the privilege to advise: Jenny Ashton, Emma Baldwin, Ariel Gallagher, Molly Johnson, and Allison Trimpe. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication to produce a stellar research project. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Brenda Howard, Interim Director for the Masters in Occupational Therapy program, to present the Academic Excellence Award.
Thank you, Lucinda, and congratulations, award recipients. The Academic Excellence Award is given to the student with the highest grade point average in the OTD and MOT programs. To present the awards, I am honored to introduce Mindy Fox, Executive Director, RHI Foundation at the Rehabilitation Hospital of Indiana, and sponsor of the Academic Excellence Awards. Mindy?
Thank you. It's my pleasure to present this award, and I want to just take a second to congratulate all of you students who are graduating. I am so excited for all of you to really jump into your career as professionals in occupational therapy now. It's so exciting for you guys. We, at the Rehabilitation Hospital of Indiana, we have so many patients that come through every year after some type of life-changing event, and the occupational therapists that work with our patients are absolutely critical players on the team to get our patients back to their life again. And so I so appreciate each one of you, and I get a little emotional every time I think about the hundreds and thousands of people that are out there that you haven't met yet, but you're going to, in your work, in your career, and your profession, and you are going to touch their lives in such a deep and intimate way. And you don't know each other yet, but you will, and you're going to know them in a very meaningful way. And I hope if I have any message to share with you today, It's that the people, you don't lose the feeling that they're people, and you don't just see them as a patient in a room. They're, oh, I'm seeing number 301 or whatever. These are people. They're going to be somebody's mother or somebody's father or somebody's son or sibling or best friend, or they're a person and they have loved ones, and somewhere in the world they're out there, and you're going to be that person that changes their life at a time when they need it most. So I hope that you always feel that. And I think for all of you, that's probably why you are here and why you went through everything you've gone through the last few years to get to this place, and you're about to jump into it. So don't lose that. And when those patients and those families come to you and they thank you, try to stop for a second and allow that opportunity for them to share their gratitude for just a moment. And I think it's kind of natural to just say, oh, it's my job, but they're so grateful to you for what you've done for them. So just kind of give them that moment. And I'm excited because you don't know that's coming yet, but it is. And I know it's coming for you. And I'm excited for you to have that many, many times in your future. So congratulations, and especially to the students, the graduates who are receiving these awards. You should be so proud of yourself, and the best is yet to come for you. Thank you. Courtney Lee Cooley, MOT. And Kendra Rose Voth, OTD. Sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mindy, and congratulations again to our award recipients. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Jenny Fogo to present the service awards.
Hello, everybody. And first of all, congratulations to all of you. I know it's been quite a year and you've made it. I truly believe that everything that happens to us prepares us for the next step in our journeys. And you're all going to do some great things, and I look forward to seeing that. So, well, as you can guess, the service award is near to my heart. Scott Fogo's whole life was about service. He believed that our purpose in life is to make the world a better place for all people, and he truly believed in the power of occupational therapy to do that. Scott guest lectured regularly in the School of Occupational Therapy. His favorite lecture was one of the students' last lectures, and it was about preparing for career as an occupational therapist. He would tell students, don't settle. Don't take the job because it's flashy and it has the highest salary. And he'd say, yeah, I know you got your loans to pay off, but don't settle. Instead, find your passion, and there you will find your calling as an occupational therapist. His goal was to empower students as future OTs and future colleagues to see and unlock the limitless potential in all people. And many of you have shared some of those passions that you've gained in the last couple of years. It was exciting to see all that in your mission statements. Scott's passion was to serve families and children with disabilities, and he did that through his work at Easter Seals Crossroads. He lived the mission of Easter Seals Crossroads to change the way the world defines and views disability by making profound positive differences in people's lives every day. Easter Seals Crossroads, who's the sponsor of this award, is a local organization that provides a wide variety of disability services for children and adults throughout central Indiana. For the past 80 years, Easter Seals has been dedicated to changing the way the world defines and views disabilities by offering services that promote inclusion, independence, and dignity. And isn't that what we all strive to do as OTs? For many occupational therapy graduates, Easter Seals has been a remote classroom, a research partner, a fieldwork site, a capstone experience site, an expert consultant in the areas of autism, assistive technology, and driver rehabilitation, and for some graduates, a future employer. Our partnership with Easter Seals Crossroads has been instrumental in the education of our students in the School of Occupational Therapy at University of Indianapolis. It is with great pleasure that I get to present this year's Dr. Scott E. Fogo Easter Seals Crossroads Service Awards. The Service Award is based on nominees from your classmates, and it was a tough decision as there are many of you who have dedicated your lives to the service of others. The Dr. Scott E. Fogo Easter Seals Crossroads Service Award goes to an MOT student who has demonstrated a strong service commitment to her church, the community, and to the profession of occupational therapy. She was the Student Occupational Therapy Association representative for the Masters in OT class of 2021. She has volunteered at Indiana Occupational Therapy Association conferences. She has volunteered for events such as Night to Shine Prom and the Rehab Hospital of Indiana Adaptive Sports Expo while advocating for persons with disabilities. She is a member of the UIndy Delta Mu chapter of Sigma Phi Omega, the International Academic Honor and Professional Society in Gerontology, demonstrating academic and leadership excellence. She has also obtained her gerontology certificate, further demonstrating her professional commitment to older adults. Her advocacy and visibility in the community has well represented the profession and the University of Indianapolis School of Occupational Therapy. Congratulations, Master of Occupational Therapy graduate, Courtney Cooley. The Scott E. Fogo Easter Seals Crossroads Service Award goes to the Doctor of Occupational Therapy student who has dedicated her time serving in the community and in the program. She served as the volunteer coordinator for the Student Occupational Therapy Association and often went above and beyond, volunteering more than expected. She has dedicated much of her time to serving others, organizing opportunities in the UIndy MOT and the OTD communities to serve together. She organized and participated in multiple Night to Shine prom events, GG galas, Indiana Occupational Therapy Association conferences, and senior living facilities. She is passionate about occupational therapy profession and actively participates in states and national organizations where she advocates for the profession. One of her classmates said she is the epitome of a selfless servant, always trying to meet the needs of others no matter what. The Dr. Scott E. Fogo Easter Seals Crossroads Service Award goes to the Doctor of Occupational Therapy student, Kristen Dyson. Congratulations to you both. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Katie Polo, who is the faculty speaker for graduation.
Thank you, Jenny. Good afternoon, team. It's with mixed emotions of sadness, excitement, pride that I address you one last time as part of my team. It is with great honor that I talk to you today on this monumental life occasion to congratulate you on this glorious day of celebration. You will graduate from the University of Indianapolis and enter into the great profession of occupational therapy. You are graduating after one of the most unprecedented times in the history of our country. So to say that these past 3 years have been non-traditional is quite the understatement. In your time here, you survived a tremendous storm, a storm defined by immense adversity, including a pandemic, chaos, isolation, exhaustion, unpredictability, uncertainty, helplessness, and heartbreak. Inspirational author Roy T. Bennett shares this: challenges and adversities are meant to help you know who you are. Storms hit your weakness, but unlock your true strength. These strengths that come from weathering the storm are the learning experiences I would like to focus on today. Storm experience number 1, experiment, fail, learn, re-experience, and then grow. Many of you during the pandemic realized that your traditional ways of learning and growing were not amenable to the constraints we faced. You needed to experiment with the environment around you and the resources you had to support your learning. Many of you failed the first time with identifying what was essential to support your learning, but you learned. You learned what didn't work. Then you reevaluated, re-experienced, found what worked. Then growth occurred. The failure piece was temporary. It passed very much like a storm. Imagine if you went into the storm afraid of failure, paralyzed by it. Would learning and growth occur? No. You have learned to be comfortable with temporary failure and the process this leads towards growth. Think back to your fieldwork experiences. This process of experiment, fail, learn, re-experience, and growth is exactly the OT intervention process in a nutshell. Don't be paralyzed by fear of failure, but use your experiences of failure as a humbling learning experience to shape how you grow in the future and how to connect and collaborate with your clients on a daily basis through the use of shared decision-making. Storm experience number 2, navigating unthinkable challenges. So many times over this past year, you needed to navigate unthinkable challenges and changes, sometimes needing to pick between the least worst decision to move forward. You had to get comfortable with taking responsibility for the consequences of those decisions, owning them, and adapting to great change. You adapted to online learning, completed fieldwork placements in non-traditional practice settings, and through new telehealth sectors. You have stronger skills with adapting and coping with change and resiliency, something that you need to take with you into patient care. The patients we serve need to adapt, cope with change, and recover from their difficulties, something that you all have experienced during the storm. Take this empathy with you and practice vulnerability with your patients. This will only lead to a strong therapeutic relationship and trusted collaborations with them. Storm experience number 3, taking a step back. Much of what happened was beyond your control. It forced many of you to recognize true priorities and what really matters. Many of you also realized that giving and accepting grace is important in taking a step back. Those impending assignment deadlines that you just didn't think you would get done, grace from faculty. Those group assignments where you didn't quite give your all due to the state of your mental health, grace and support from your peers. Showing grace means it's not about you. Self-sufficiency to an extreme is a dangerous myth. It blinds us to how others may rely on us and how we may rely on them. It prevents us from extending grace and asking for grace in a time of need. Graduates, find your mentors in practice immediately. Take this step back and let down your self-sufficiency. Be humbled by your mentor's knowledge and collaborate with them on care plans, advancing your own competence and with complex patients. Practice grace with your colleagues and interdisciplinary teams in which you work, because this is how you can build relationships with them and ultimately strengthen the common goal of caring for those in need. Author and motivational speaker Vivian Green shared, "Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain." You have navigated this storm, you have danced in it, and through your experiences, you have learned this new skill set to harness and take with you into your occupational therapy practice. Dawn comes after the darkness of the storm. You have emerged from the storm with clarity, changed by your experiences. Dawn brings forth a day of action. Every person makes waves, and we are all interconnected. Every single person's actions cause ripples that can be felt incredibly far from where they began. Now you have a responsibility to create action. So I charge you today to go create purposeful action with the embracement of failure and vulnerability to better connect with those you serve. Go. Use your coping skills through your storm experiences to practice empathy with those around you. And finally, go. Practice grace and don't be afraid to ask for help from others around you, because this is a sign of ultimate emotional strength. So now it is with these final and traditional words that I leave you, my team. Good luck, God bless, and may the force be with you always. And now I would like to introduce my colleague and additional faculty speaker, Dr. Christina Watkins, to deliver her message.
Thanks, Katie. So I'll begin by saying that I'm just truly honored to be speaking to you today. So thank you for this opportunity. My time here at UIndy began with all of you only a short year and a half ago. You welcomed me, not just with open arms, but with true excitement at having me join the faculty. And I'm not sure you'll ever know how much that truly meant to me. Who would have ever imagined that all the things that I taught you in that wellness class would come in handy on such a personal level in the year that followed? You've had to focus on your own wellness, all those dimensions: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, environmental, occupational, social, financial, and intellectual, in order to make it through this program, but especially through this pandemic year. When I thought about this speech and all of you represented in this graduation today, one word kept coming to mind. And as cliche as it is, that word is perseverance. Let's call it pandemic level perseverance. I came across this article by Andrea Gibbs of Empower Envision titled "The 7 C's of Pandemic Perseverance." And it was good, but I want to give my own spin on those. First C is calm. I know we all had our moments where we may have lost our cool or our ability to go with the flow this past year. However, I've been more than impressed with your ability to remain calm and to be patient and understanding amidst the constant changes you were surrounded by. You embrace these changes and the almost constant world of the unknown with a grace that I have never seen before. There were many times in this past year when I would brag about this and all of you, and it would literally bring me to tears. Communicate. Your time in this program, and especially this last year, have brought about a need to adapt your communication styles. We've learned to perfect, or at least try to perfect, the art of virtual communication. However, nothing compares to face-to-face communication. Spend time with others. Put your phone down. Look away from the computer. Ask them how they're doing and truly listen to the answer. Enjoy the art of a good conversation. Connect. If we were together in person, and I know we all wish we could be, this is the time I'd tell you to look around the room, make eye contact, share a smile with those around you. So you'll just have to imagine back to a time when you were surrounded by your classmates. These are your people. You've built friendships that will last a lifetime. Be friends on social media, meet up for dinner, plan trips, host virtual happy hours, stay connected, do whatever it takes. Care. Good communication and connection can show someone else that you care, but we often need to take this to that next level and do something. Reach out to someone and find out what you can do for them. Better yet, just do something. Random acts of kindness can go such a long way. But take care a step further and remember that to truly care for others, you must first take care of yourself. Be mindful of your own wellness, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, and so on. Do what needs to be done to keep yourself in a state of wellness so that you can then give to those around you. Calisthenics. The author even says that's an outdated word to use, but hey, if it's the C model we're going with, so we'll go with it, right? Basically, get up and move your body. Find what works for you. Go for a jog, walk with a friend, do yoga, wrestle with your kids, just move. Cabin fever. Well, I'd wager a guess that we've all felt this at some point or another this past year, especially. Yes, even you introverts, I see you. What did you do during your cabin time? What brought you joy? Did you learn a new card game? Did you pull out an old board game? Did you binge watch your favorite show? Did you sit and scroll social media? As the world returns to whatever our state of new normal will be, I challenge you to build in some cabin time. Slow life down and go back to the basics. The last C. Cook or clean. If that's not the basics, I don't know what is. Cleaning's not my go-to, so if it's your thing, come on over anytime. But what does it for you? Do you like to choose a room and deep clean? You like to organize? Maybe learn a new recipe, master an old one? Maybe you say no thanks to all that cooking and cleaning, and to that I say, go read a book or binge watch that favorite show. The laundry will be there tomorrow. And that wraps up the 7 C's of that pandemic perseverance. And while it's been a trying year, there have been many positive moments and so many great memories. I hope that when you reflect on your time here at the School of Occupational Therapy, that you'll remember the good times. Remember the strong skills that you've built along the way. And I don't just mean those splinting skills, but remember a year ago when all your fieldwork rotations were canceled? You knew I had to throw that in there somewhere, right? But in all seriousness, remember what it took to trust, to show grace, to be flexible. Remember what it took to persevere. These are the lifelong skills that you will use more than anything that we have taught you. Remember that you did it. You are here. You are graduates. I think I can safely speak for all of the faculty when I say that we are truly blessed to have been a part of your journey to becoming an OT. And now it's your turn. Time to go out there, show the world who you are, become the OT you are meant to be, I wish you nothing but the best, and God bless you all. And now I have the pleasure of introducing the OTD student speaker from a graduate cohort, Ms. Emma Baldwin.
Hello again, everyone. My name is Emma Baldwin, class of OTD 2021. I ruminated on what I was going to say to you all for a really long time. And I think that's because I wanted it to really honor how we're feeling and how we deserve to be celebrated. There's such an incredible mix of emotions. I can't see you or hear any of you, and I don't know how you're feeling, and we can't talk about it, but I know that everyone is having totally different emotions today. I know there's a good bunch of us who have finished everything. You're getting pinned, graduating, and you're ready to start a job and get into the real world and be called an OT. And that is incredible. There's also a bunch of us who are feeling confused about what day to celebrate. Is it when we finish our capstone? Is it when we receive our diploma in the mail? Is it today? People are on different schedules for multiple different reasons, but I want today to be a celebration of us as a cohort, moving on and making it. It doesn't matter where we are in our celebration of ourselves, because we're all here to celebrate the fact that we have made it here today. The past year has been tumultuous, to say the least, and honestly, we could probably say the past 3 years have been tumultuous for each of us in our own ways. It has flown by, and we're about to become occupational therapy practitioners. We've never known ourselves better than we know ourselves today. Throughout grad school, we've learned how we learn, we've learned how we study, we've learned the meaning and importance of self-care, and we've learned how to advocate for ourselves and for our clients. We know how to catch our own APA errors now, and even sometimes we decide to ignore them because it just sounds better, right? On top of all of that, though, we've learned how to treat. We know how to read the tiny, almost imperceptible movements and emotions of the people that we're treating to make sure that we're working towards giving our patients the best lives possible. We've learned how to believe in ourselves as competent human beings and practitioners. And honestly, beyond competent, right? We've gone through an insane amount of challenges and changes together. And through it all, I can still hear all of your laughs in my memories. I hear the raps about research. I hear the crazy ruckus of the room when we were doing a donning and doffing PPE race. Little did we know that PPE would be in super, super high demand the month after. And we didn't even know what PPE was or what it stood for. All we knew is that we were practicing gowning and gloving, and we were learning how to do it correctly. It wasn't a big deal. Our lives have changed so much in the past 3 years, and even more in the past year. And I don't know about all of you, but I've grown so much, and I've watched you all grow from afar. This year allowed a ton of processing time and even more time to soak up a ton of knowledge. I wish so much that we could all be together celebrating this and celebrating the same thing, but that's not what makes us as a cohort. I'm a strong believer that everything that happens leads you to where you're meant to be. And I think we're all supposed to be here in different ways as we are. We've all gone through different experiences to get here, telehealth rotations, amazing, incredible capstones, and settings we never thought we'd see or like. And the fact that we're all here in this moment at this ceremony celebrating different things at the same time, it just adds to show our versatility, flexibility, and perseverance. I feel like this whole unique experience has really helped us grow as individuals, and we wouldn't have done it without each other. We wouldn't have done it without those moments in the anatomy lab when we're trying so hard to decipher what veins versus arteries versus nerves were. We'd spend hours trying to learn anatomy and biomechanics, and no matter how much experience we came in with, we often had no clue what we were doing. And what we learned throughout the whole process is that that's okay. If we don't know what we're doing, we know how to figure it out now. We know how to reason through it. When I talk about occupational therapy to other people, I tell them that we're professional problem solvers, and we do that in every aspect of our lives. We're taught how to think through a problem and every part of it, and also to think through a person and every aspect of them. It's one of the most amazing skills, and it means the world to the people that we touch. I had a fieldwork supervisor tell me that the most important thing about being an OT is being good with people. And that really speaks towards us and as a profession and as a cohort. I would be remiss if I forgot to thank all of the people who made this journey possible along the way. Partners, parents, siblings, families, professors and staff, and friends. Thank you all so much. And a special thanks to those we have loved and lost in the past 3 years. This journey would not have been possible without any of you, and we are all incredibly grateful. Cohort of 2021, we have made it so many great memories, and we've made it with each other, and we've made each other better people and practitioners, and for that I am extremely grateful. Last thing, and then I promise I'll let you get on with the show. Okay, ready? Think about it, my fellow OT practitioners or future OT practitioners. Graduation as an occupation. How do you want to celebrate it? Think about what you want to do to make graduation the day that you want it to be. Then do it. These circumstances don't have to change a thing. I am so happy to be here and speaking for us, celebrating the biggest accomplishment of our lives. At least, I don't know about you, but it's a pretty darn big accomplishment for me. I am so thankful to have gotten to know each and every one of you. You are all going to be amazing and incredible practitioners. Along the ride, we've had our trials and tribulations, both personal and professional, but we came in together and we're leaving together as we can be. And that's okay. Honestly, that's amazing. And it makes us, us. We made it. Congratulations, friends. And now I would like to welcome to the stage the 2021 MOT student speaker, Jessie Britt.
Woohoo! Thank you, Emma. Great job. Good afternoon, everyone. I would love to say congrats to every passionate and hardworking student in both the graduating master's and doctorate programs. I'm sure we all thought biomechanics would take us down, but here we are. We did it. On behalf of my cohort, I want to give a large thank you to our professors who handled my cohort with patience, grace, and understanding. It is no secret my cohort tends to be known for being intense, detailed, uptight, and always filled with questions about the rubric. Our biggest nightmare is having a one-page maximum. It's just an impossible task for us. Over the past 3 years and a half, we have continued to attempt to remind each one to not overthink things and keep it simple. After getting to know each one of us, I know that the overthinking and intense desire to go way overboard on every task we complete stems from the strong passion and love we have for this profession. We are a class filled with blues that have an overflowing desire for making people feel included, important, and meaningful. Professors, you have handled our what-if questions with grace, and it is obvious that each one of you truly care about our personal and professional success. The on-fire passion that we feel from you is contagious, and we thank you all for gifting that to us. I wish to quickly reminisce all the way back to our first day of class. Now, this wasn't just any ordinary day of class. No, of course not. This was a full day of class and orientation all crammed into one, thanks to a terrible snowstorm the weekend prior. That first day of class with Jason, we had to answer 2 simple questions on a white sheet of paper. What is occupational therapy, and what does it mean to be an OT? At the time, that seemed like a simple assignment. Little did we know how much of a loaded question that really was. We then separated into groups and practiced telling each other about the OT profession while reading our answers. Most of our answers included things like helping people recover from injuries or assisting with everyday tasks. Some of the answers said we're helping people with showering, bathing, getting dressed, and so on. Once Jason dropped the volition bomb and Taylor dropped the therapeutic relationship bomb on us, it was game over. We now know that that was the most important and applicable lesson we were taught in OT school. Within the first week of OT school, we had plenty of practice explaining to different friends and family that it doesn't mean that we help find people jobs. And yes, it is different than PT. Thank you, professors, for teaching us the true meaning of being a part of the occupational therapy profession. We all take pride in our ability to advocate for this profession and the vast amount of skills we bring to the table. We have been empowered with the knowledge of just how impactful we can be in someone's life. OT isn't just ADLs, interventions, evaluations, and discharges. There is motivation, empathy, compassion, patience, hardships, and intentional relationship building woven into each interaction with every patient. Each person is unique like we are. So let's feel empowered to go out there and not only fuel our passion, but restore and fuel the passion of the clients as well. Since I'm speaking on behalf of my lovely cohort, I wanted to include some of their words and favorite memories in this speech as well. Some of those memories include Allison's Sensory Day and Taylor's Feeding Day, wheeling around campus for our community class, getting to know the ins and outs of our cohort through our therapeutic skills class. My favorite one mentioned is of Becky's guest lecture when she thought we were smarter at the time than we were and began using lingo and acronyms we had no idea, which were like PIP, MCP, IP, DIP, and so on. We had no idea what was going on. A common favorite memory amongst the group were the quick coffee runs downstairs to get us through the afternoon, making the positioning devices and orthoses. End of the semester, Mexican and Margs, and the snack fairy, of course. Let's not forget getting gently called out by Jason for overthinking every little thing, lunch breaks where we would discuss the meaning of life, Taylor organizing a small celebration for Alyssa's wedding, and having a pizza party to celebrate Emily's new baby, who is now 3. Another special memory is of Aaron's understanding and tender heart in our biomechanics lectures right when quarantine began last spring. Oh, and let's not forget the victorious feeling of successfully drawing out the brachial plexus and feeling like we peaked there. For 3.5 years, we have juggled raising kids, maintaining full and part-time jobs, marriages, and participating in whatever tiny social life we had, all while learning and blossoming into the confident and compassionate soon-to-be professionals that we are today. I'm so very proud of what we have all accomplished, but I am most excited about what is yet to come. Just as the wise poet Drake once said, we started from the bottom and now we are here. Thank you guys. Congratulations. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Emma and Jesse. On behalf of the entire College of Health Sciences and School of Occupational Therapy, I want to thank everyone for their support and participation in today's event. This celebration is just as much for the graduates entering the occupational therapy profession as they are for the family and friends who have provided support along the way. I encourage all of our graduates to reach out to everyone who's been a part of their support system and thank them. To the graduates, we know each of you will touch many lives between now and then, and we look forward to hearing all about it. We are thrilled to have such dedicated and caring colleagues entering the profession and helping others live life to the fullest. Each of you are going to make this world a better place. I would like to introduce Kirby Jones, who will lead us in a final prayer.
Hi. If you could bow your heads, please. Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity to celebrate this amazing achievement. Going through grad school together is something that very few people can truly understand, so I thank you that all of our classmates could be together again today. From studying together, completing all the group projects, and finishing fieldwork during a worldwide pandemic, you have prepared us each for the process and allowed us to be successful as occupational therapy students. I pray that you continue to bless us and prepare us as we transition into our individual careers as occupational therapists. Lord, I ask that you help us stay connected as a cohort and continue to support and celebrate with each other beyond this ceremony. We celebrate those that have secured jobs, and we pray a big, strong prayer for those currently looking or planning to look for jobs in the next few months. I pray over all of us as we study for boards, and that you be with us as we take the next step in this OT process. Please keep our minds focused and our hearts calm during that day. Lord, I thank you so much for each person here today that has supported us along the way. Thank you to our professors and faculty that pushed us and encouraged us over these past few years. Thank you for family and friends that believed in us and helped us get through all those stressed out nights. Lord, you have made these past 2 years an amazing experience, and I pray a blessing over each new therapist as we serve our clients with compassion each day for the rest of our careers. It's in your name that we pray. Amen.